Hi everyone, I'm here today to tell you about the health hazards of kibble and the health issues it can cause for dogs. So first, a brief history of dog food. Prior to the 1860s, a dog's diet mainly consisted of table scraps, raw meat, and whatever else it could forage out in the wild. And it wasn't until after the 1860s, with the introduction of James Bratt's dog biscuits, that over time, dog food became more commercialized. And in 1916, the first canned dog food was introduced. That was made from horse meat. And up into the 1940s, the popularity of commercialized dog food had become very, very large among dog owners. For example, up to 90% of dog owners fed their dogs canned meat. Unfortunately, when tin had to be rationed for the soldiers at the World War II, many dog owners had to resort to feeding their dogs dry food. And in the 1950s, Purina came out with the first extruded dog food. And presently, today, up to 90% of dogs eat dry dog food. And again, while the kibble is very convenient, unfortunately, the extensive processing that it goes through is very harmful. First, dry ingredients and wet ingredients, such as meat and starches, are mixed together to form a dough. Next, this dough is preheated, and then it goes through the extruder machine, kind of similar to how cereal is made. This mixed dough-like kibble then goes through a die machine, which cuts this dough into kibble-like shapes. The air pressure then causes it to expand, and then it goes through a drying oven so it can dry out into kibble. And lastly, the kibble is then sprayed with a flavor enhancer and shipped to pet stores nationwide. And again, one of the reasons kibble is harmful is because it goes through a very extensive extruding process that leaves the kibble left of zero nutrients and vitamins. For example, some of the health consequences of dog food can be the cross-contamination of molds, which are quite commonly can grow off of grains such as cereal and wheat. And some of the symptoms of this cross-contamination can be vomiting, decreased blood pressure, digestive issues, or even thinner blood in dogs. And also, just like food recalls can happen for humans, so it can for dog food. For example, about 3 years ago, a science diet recalled over 85 lots and 33 varieties of their canned food because there's an overdose vitamin D in there. And again, because kibble is renderless and left to no vitamins and minerals after processing, synthetic vitamins had to be added back. And because synthetic vitamins are not processed the same way that natural vitamins are, a dog receives no nutrients from these vitamins, and unfortunately, there's also the possibility of overdosed vitamin. Also, BPA can be found in cans of dog food and packaging, and this can also leach into the dog's food, which can, over time, cause bioaccumulation, and the dog can be left poisoned with this BPA, which can lead to other health issues such as cancer and diabetes and even disrupted hormones. Unfortunately, there are even more health consequences of kibble. For example, even if stored properly, kibble goes rancid in 2 weeks, especially the fats such as the oils that are in there. Also, there are toxins in kibble such as synthetic fortifications and acrylamides, which is the browning of the kibble. And it's overall, again, a lifeless food the dog is eating. Also, there's low-quality ingredients in here, such as 4D meats, byproducts, dyes, and cereal grains. And again, grains are not biologically correct for dogs, and neither is the high starch content of kibble. And such as high starch contents in kibble can lead to high blood pressure in dogs, diabetes, and even weight gain. And moreover, with the low qualities of meats and quantities, such as the 4D meats and byproducts, the dog is unfortunately not receiving quality nutrients from these very low quality sources of meat. And unfortunately, the pet food industry cannot be trusted. For example, melamine was added to dog food intentionally, which caused the biggest pet food recall in 2007. Also, 4D meats are approved by AFCO through the FDA, and AFCO stands for American Feed Association. And 4D meats are stand for dead, diseased, dying, or down cattle, and this also is exclusive to farm animals. 4D meats can also come from roadkill, dead zoo animals, and in the worst case scenario, even euthanized dogs and cats, some that still have their plastic flea collars on their necks, which goes straight into dog food. And also, a very, very bad process can go on, which is called ingredient splitting. And for example, you might, in the back of the bag of a dog food, you might see meat as the first ingredient, which has become a trend in the pet food industry. However, legally, AVCO has approved for brands of pet food to be able to list the meat as the first ingredient before it's processed. And on average, chicken contains 70% of moisture before it's processed. However, after it's cooked, there's little to no water content left in the chicken, and therefore the final product of dog food contains little to no chicken, and thus most of this protein comes from the corn or other starches in the food, yet a brand of dog food can legally list meat as the first ingredient. Also, AVCO approves of BHA and BHT to be added to dog food, and as we know, these are very harmful artificial preservatives that are bad even for humans, and they can cause cancer. This is why raw dog food is a superior diet for dogs. First of all, raw dog food is not processed like kibble. Therefore, a dog will receive numerous benefits from raw. Also, there are no low-quality ingredients in raw food compared to kibble. First of all, the meats that are sourced for raw diets are of the utmost quality, such as grass-fed meats, the whole animal rather than byproducts or 4D meats. And there are also no dyes or artificial preservatives in raw food. Moreover, again, because a raw diet isn't processed, the dog receives all the nutrients it needs, and it's biologically correct. Dogs have a short intestinal tract and digestive tract, which makes it insufficient for digesting the high amounts of grains and starches in kibble. However, on a raw diet, they rapidly digest raw, which they're made for. Also, the structure of a dog's jaws and teeth are made for ripping and grinding at meat, not chewing down kibble. Also, dogs will experience numerous health benefits from a raw diet, such as healthier skin and coat, cleaner teeth, more energy, and even weight loss, and lower rates of inflammation because the dog is not having to tolerate high amounts of starches that are raising their blood sugar. So there are ways that, if you so wish, to wean your dog from kibble to a raw diet. First of all, the transition should be very gradual and slow. For example, you should feed raw in between meals of kibble, because kibble and raw should never be mixed in the case of digestive issues. Again, kibble and raw digest at very different rates. For example, kibble can take up to 10 to 15 hours for the dog to digest, whereas raw can take as little as under 8 hours. And you may not find raw at conventional pet stores such as PetSmart. You may have to go online, such as from Chewy, or to go to specialty pet stores to find raw dog food for your dog. Also, it is understandable that raw dog food may not be convenient for those with bigger dogs. Therefore, if you so wish, you can also feed raw as an evening meal, or even twice a week. And there are other higher quality brands of dry dog food on the market that do not contain low quality ingredients or synthetics, such as Origin, Giada, and Stella and Chewy. Moreover, there are other options related to raw that you can feed your dog, such as freeze-dried, which is freeze-dried raw. And if you so wish, you could also add the freeze-dried to dog food so the dog can still get the benefits of raw. However, again, a raw diet is the ultimate diet for a dog because it's not processed, all the ingredients are the utmost quality. A dog will receive all the nutrients it needs from raw. There'll need to be no concerns of a dog receiving an overdose vitamin. A dog will receive numerous benefits from a raw diet because it is receiving 100% biologically correct diet as well as whole, unaltered vitamins. I thank you everyone for listening to my presentation, and I hope all of you have a great rest of your summer. Thank you.